kid fell asleep or something, decides to take my daughter's bell. So she decks him, takes his bell, and all I see is he comes over and just stares at her with the other bell, and she's just like, gives him just this evil look, and he just goes and sits down. My daughter's old.
She taking that nerd thing. Is
She
good.
take-
We got Khalifa joining us. He just got promoted into finance.
Oh wow.
He took his okay. I think everybody needs a little bit of leadership training. You know, even people that are in management. You know, I always take a look in the mirror at myself. But I want to tell you just a little bit about my background. Okay, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. When I got out of the Marines, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Okay, I was just stuck in a rut. So I went to a company called Dial of America. Anybody know who that company, what that company is? It's a company, you know, telecommunications, we're calling people. This is when I first learned, man, I could sell something, right? But I was making $7.25 an hour. You know, my bonus for selling almost 100 clients was $50, okay? But I always passed this Lexus store. I was in Charleston, South Carolina at the time. I always passed by this Lexus store. I saw the guys walking in and out of that store. I mean, they were clean. Suits, 3-piece. I mean, you know, these guys are making some money. I told myself, man, I want to be like those guys right there. I wonder what it's going to take to be a Lexus salesperson. So I put it in my mind. I put my suit on, which I thought was a suit at the time, but it really wasn't. We know how that goes. I put my suit on and I met the general manager, okay? I was lucky that he actually sat down and talked with me. I met the general manager, he liked me, you know, we hit it off, but he did not hire me to sell Lexus because I was not prepared at that time, okay? He walked me right next door to a Toyota store, Gene Reed Toyota. I remember like it was yesterday. I got hired on the spot. My first day was a Saturday. My first day. Every time a Saturday ended, we always had a sales meeting. It was kind of like, you know, a football game. You know, you have a meeting at front and then you have a meeting in the back. We were the #1 Toyota store in Charleston at that time. We sold 25 cars. 25 cars that day. This is the reception that I got my first day in. I came in a sales meeting and they said this. General manager came in, threw a chair, just like that, and said, dang it, you guys need to sell some cars. Stephen McClennan reached over to me and said, hey, listen, let me tell you something. Make it go in one ear and out the other. So I did. My first month, I sold 5 cars, okay? I wasn't that good at the business at first, but I was good at building rapport with people. Steve McClennan reached me over again. He said, stop listening to your customer. He didn't mean stop listening to their wants and needs. He meant stop listening to when they say, hey, I'm about to leave, or I'm getting out of here, I gotta go pick up my daughter, I do this, do that. He said, stop listening to your customer. And once I did, I was consistently selling 20 cars a month. But like you, to fast forward time, you know, a little bit, you know, I was one of the top salespeople at that dealership. Then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I joined an organization called Hendrick Automotive. Met with a gentleman. He told me, you know, the gentleman told me, I was sitting down, he's one of the salespeople. We were in the break room, kind of like this break room over here. He had a ring on his finger. It was a President's Club ring. And he told me that I couldn't achieve this ring because it was too hard. It was too hard. You had to sell over 200 cars in 1 year to get into the prestigious President's Club. I'm just telling you a little bit of my life, okay? I was never the person that let anybody say that I couldn't do or achieve something. I was never that guy. So I worked hard, I won the President's Club, but during that time, you know, God always puts a wall in front of you, right? And sometimes it's hard to get over that wall, or you think you can't do it. The wall he put in front of me was my child. Okay? She had a 50-50 chance to live before she was even born. 50-50. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was in and out of the hospital my child on her deathbed, but I still won President's Club. That's what those plaques right there are for. Those are the only 2 plaques I ever carry around with me, because they're the only 2 plaques that truly mean something to me. Because during those 2 plaque periods, that's when my daughter was going through what she was going through. Even though she's alive and well today, that was a hurdle that I knew was the biggest hurdle in my life. Regardless of being in the Marines, regardless of being in Afghanistan, regardless of being in Iraq, that was the hardest hurdle of my life. And I won that President's Club ring, but the guy told me I couldn't win. This class right here, this university that me and Preston are building in the Van Til organization, is not just for you to go into finance. It's for you to understand yourself. That's why it's called the Eagle Academy. You see that eagle right there? It's soaring.
Right.
I'm a Marine and I believe in that eagle. So it means a lot to me. You gotta soar. That's why we're here. You're the leaders in this region. You are the leaders in this region. I know sometimes we look and we say, man, I can do a lot better than that guy that's in the box right now. That gentleman who's doing finance right now. He's not that good of a manager. But one thing I learned when I was saying the same thing that you said was I knew I was good, I knew I could sell cars, but one thing that I didn't truly understand at that time was people. And once I understood people, I'm not talking about building rapport or selling people a car, I'm talking about once I understood people, that's when I got to the next level. I went to the next level. And that's what I'm going to teach you here today and through the course of our university, is how to understand yourself and people. Leadership is not a word that we need to use lightly. Okay? Now, I hope we all got a notepad and pen because we're going to go on a roller coaster ride, folks. Okay? And I want to learn a little bit more about you. Okay? There's one strong thing that I tell every one of my classes. There's one strong thing that I tell each and every one of my classes. If you don't have a notepad or something, I can get you one. Right, look at my briefcase right there. There's a notepad sitting right there. I got like 1,000 notepads because I'm always writing stuff down. Okay? Socrates said, writing makes a man exact. Okay? Most of the stuff that you hear, you just retain for a second. But the stuff that you write down, you remember forever. Okay? So let's break out a notepad and pen. First thing I want to talk about right now is my why. I got you a little collage of my family and some of the things that I've achieved. I've achieved the home that I wanted. I've driven the cars that I've wanted in my life. I remember sitting down at the Toyota dealership and I was talking to some salespeople, and I always dreamed of having a Porsche. Okay? I was able to buy a Porsche cash just from this business. Okay, I've driven every car that you want to drive. I was a Mercedes salesperson. Then I moved up into the ranks of Mercedes as a sales manager, and then I started recruiting and training. But you see that word right there? What is your why? Why can be family, income that you want to make, future that you want to have for yourself and your family, success, and most of all, security. I'm not talking about job security, folks. I'm talking about security right here, to know you can achieve and do whatever you want. How many people in this room right now, except Preston, because I know he already got this, okay? But how many people in this room right now can raise their hand and say, I can be dropped off anywhere in the continental United States and make $100,000 a year? Who can raise their hand and say that? I hope everybody in this room can raise their hand, buddy. Because y'all are the elite people in this organization. Isn't that something? That you can get on a helicopter, get pushed out by parachute, and you can make a living for yourself and your family. You don't have to have a college degree in the car business. You don't have to have a master's degree. You don't have to have a diploma, a GED. You don't have to have any of that stuff. But you can still make the same type of income that somebody who has a doctorate can make. I believe in having a PhD. Y'all know what a PhD is? Anybody? I believe in having a PhD, pour hunger and determination. If you have that, then you can achieve anything. But I want you all to write down your why. Write the word why and tell me what your why is. Okay? What makes you get up every single morning? That's your why. What makes you do the things that you do? That's your why. If you don't have children or a mama or a dad, write down what you want your future to be. What successes that you want. If you're too young to have children, which some of y'all in this room are, write down those things. I mean, you got several things that can be your why. And I want to hear what they are. We're going to go from this part of the room and we're going to keep going. But I want to know your why. And it better not be something real quick. It's got to be strong and powerful enough. Something that you can jump in front of a bullet for. Seriously. That's your why. You finished?
Yes.
Come on. I want you to stand out in front of the room, and everybody's going to do this one by one and tell me exactly what your why is. You don't have to look at me, look at the classroom.
My why is because I wake up every morning because of God, first of all. I'm a religious guy. That's just who I am. I believe in a higher power, a higher being. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for him. The second reason is my family. I have children, and the reason why I'm here to do what I do every day is because I got to provide for them. That's all that's really important to me. Of course, for my family, I got to definitely make some money and be successful. So all those things in play, the reason why I'm here.
Awesome. Young lady. Now, before she speaks, the funny thing to me is in this business, we got to be active, man.
Right.
The hardest thing in the world is getting in front of a room and speaking. Okay? Some people would rather be on their deathbed and start speaking, right? I mean, it's not easy. Okay? So I understand that. So this is not something that you're graded on. Okay? I just want to see how you react in front of your peers.
My biggest reason is myself. It sounds selfish, but it's true. No one's going to do it for me, so I'm going to do it for myself.
Awesome. It's not selfish either. That's your why.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
It's not really, you gotta understand that a lot of people have to do it for themselves. I mean, up until having my children, it was for myself, and now that I have my children, your why will change.
right.
Over time, it will evolve, so just let it evolve.
Correct. Next.
Man, and the legend.
As he said, first and foremost, God, because in this business, well, I won't tell you what you need to believe in, but no matter what this business goes through, no matter what's going on at the dealership, I'm consistent. And that's because I pray every day, and he takes care of me no matter what. So I wake up for him. I wake up especially for my wife, especially for my kids, because they all depend on me. Like Amber said, there is nobody else that's going to come in and take care of my family. It's me. When my son needs something, he comes to me. When my daughters need something, they come to me. When my wife needs something, she comes to me. And I tell you, it's no greater feeling. I've done a lot of things in my life, but it's no greater feeling than when anybody in my family wants something, needs something, I can go and get it and not worry about it. That's what I live for.
Awesome. Mr. Khalifa.
All right, folks, good morning.
Good morning.
My why is pretty simple. I live for my family. My wife, my kids, my security. I have a mortgage background, made a lot of money, tons of money. I understand that lifestyle, and I'm going to go back. The joy for me is to see my family, my kids, just asking me for whatever they need. Last year, I was able to send them to Africa, Morocco, and Spain. Just writing a check for $8,000 for the airline tickets and giving them $5,000 for pocket money. That's a good feeling. My kids, I'll do everything for them. Their security, that's why I'm here every day. Because I know my parents, they did a lot for me. So that's my wife.
Awesome. Wow.
Mine's pretty simple. It's like I told Casey when he interviewed me and asked why I wanted to do something and why I wanted to do this. And for me, it's simple. It's just fear. It's every day. It's fear. Every time I get up in the morning for about 10 seconds, I'm afraid because it's time to get it on. I have no backstop. I'm here alone. Nearest family is 1,000 miles away. If I screw up, if I fail, if I don't succeed, there's nobody here to grab me by the bootstraps and fix it. I can't just get in my car and run to mama's house and, sit down and have dinner and she's gonna tell me everything's okay, maybe cut me a check, say here's some money. There's nothing. If I don't make this work, I'm screwed. So it is every day, get up and go, find a way. Find a way to sell something, find a way to make some money, find a way to get better at what you're doing so that you don't have to be afraid of shit rents due, car payments due. Something breaks on your car, now you gotta shit out $1,500 and just blew your world. I don't wanna be that guy. And the other thing that drives that fear is we've all got them. We all have those older guys that could be of retirement age that do this just, they stand outside and they sell just to sell. Don't really need the money, they're doing it just to do it. But then there's also the ones that are 55 and 65 and are selling cars because they have to, because they go paycheck to paycheck. And I don't want to look up at 60 and be that guy standing outside in the cold. I want to be the guy sitting on the beach somewhere, sipping margaritas with no salt. So for me, it's simple. It's just fear. This has got to work. So that's all it is for me.
I want to piggyback on what this gentleman just said. It's a story that I heard about Keenan Ivory Wayans. Y'all know who Keenan Ivory Wayans is? You remember in Living Color?
Oh, yeah.
Keenan Ivory Wayans, before he went on his venture to start in Living Color, he was in college. His dad asked him, why do you want to drop out of college? That's what he wanted to do. Why do you want to drop out of college to pursue this dream? And I understand your dream, and I back you up because I'm your dad, and this and that, but keep your dreams alive, but get your degree so you can have something to fall back on. Okay? And this is what Keenan Ivory Wayans replied back to his father. He said, Dad, I understand that, and my dream is so big, okay, that when I look back, I don't want to see anything back here to fall back on because I'm going to run back, okay? I don't want anything to fall back on at all because I'm going to keep moving forward, okay? I have no choice but to win. Powerful.
Absolutely.
If we live like that, you can achieve anything that you want in life. Anything. So just remember that little story about Keenan Ivory Wayans and how he became one of the biggest, guys in comedy. All right? And then he brought his whole family with him.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yes, sir. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Why been big thing to me? I came from a small country, but I got a big dream. Come to America, build my life. I got 3 kids, my wife. When I wake up every day morning, I say, thanks God I wake up and I have to be successful. I have to make money to feed my kids and my family. That's it.
Awesome. He had a big dream to come to America. And some of us that are from America, all right, don't even realize the dreams that can be made for ourselves.
We don't appreciate that as much.
You're right.
Everybody. My wife is pretty much, right now I am single. I don't have any kids, but obviously one day I do plan on having that family, having a wife, having kids, and my wife is to pretty much set myself up to when I do get to that stage, I'll be able to, like some of you guys said, be able to provide whatever they need, be able to, take care of them and not have to struggle or be in any type of situation. So I build now so my future could be protected and be secure in the future. So that's my wife.
Awesome.
Why did you be able to save so much more than the rest of us?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My wife's very personal. I grew up really poor.
Come on, brother.
People. The people. Okay.
That's what this is all about. Come on, who wish?
That's what that was as a team, right? Right? Right?
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I apologize, man.
So, few people know. My mother just is because she can't take care of herself. So I do it. Been doing that since I started working here. She raised me by herself, both me and my brother. I saw her struggle every single day to put food on the table. I didn't want to do that. But she worked as hard as she could to get things done in the house. So when I was able to stop working myself, I was probably, 14. I started, picking up trash in the neighborhood, help out, the house. I moved out when I was 17. And she did her thing and I did my thing. When she needed help, I said, you come live with me. My brother can't support her. So I said I could do it. But that's the reason why I bust my ass every single day to make sure I can provide for her, I can provide for myself, help my brother when he needs help, and do those things. And I apologize.
Let's give him another round. Sometimes, and whoever's next, I want you to step forward. Sometimes we gotta realize that, first, let me tell y'all, before we get up, let me tell y'all a story that me and Q shared with each other one day, alone in this room. It's a story that I tell a lot of people. And I want everybody in this room to close their eyes with me. Okay? Close your eyes. Alright? Imagine that you're on a train right now. And leaving the airport, you just got off the plane, you're going home, you're traveling on the train from downtown Atlanta to your home. The environment on this train is just magnificent. The sun's shining in the train. People are sitting down, a gentleman's reading the paper, guys on his Walkman. It's just so surreal, so quiet on this train right now. okay? That train's driving and you're almost falling asleep. It's so peaceful. All of a sudden, the train stops at its third stop, and a gentleman with his 3 kids gets on the train. Once they're on the train, those 3 kids just break up the whole environment. It's just unseen. You know, the kids are wrecking everything. They're trashing the whole train. They snatch the guy's newspaper out of his hand. You know, you're looking at the gentleman because he sat beside you who brought the kids on the train, and you say, man, could you please calm down your kids? And the guy says to himself, he says, well, I guess I can. I don't know what to think right now. My wife just died of cancer, and, you know, I don't know what's going on with them right now, but they're usually well behaved, but I don't think they know what to think right now either. Open your eyes. All of a sudden you realize to yourself that you never know what's going on in somebody's life until they tell you. And then automatically that comes in your heart and you want to help. Right? So let's remember that, because that's a part of your leadership. Let's remember that every single day, that somebody has something going on that might be 10 times more powerful than what you got going on. When he said that, I didn't know that. That's powerful. Extremely. How many of you would bring your mother in? Anybody. But until that happens, that day comes, you know, you just don't understand. That's a hard pill to swallow, bro. So once we start understanding that about ourselves and about people, believe me, the type of leader that you're going to be, if you don't get that, it's not going to be too good of a leader. That's why we're doing this class. Come on.
Do you know what they call that? The shift you had the second you thought about that guy who couldn't control his kids? It's called a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've heard that story.
Right.
That story is also the favorite story by Greg Olson of finance. He tells it began in finance school, every class, and has for 20 years.
Wow.
He opens class with that same story every single time. Because he believes in one thing, paradigm shifts. He believes in life you'll have many of them. It's whether or not you acknowledge them and use them, utilize the feelings that you get from them. And that's one of them. That's a very strong one too. Just think about that guy who asked the dad to tell his kids to shut up. Okay? How do you think his feeling was after hearing that? That's a paradigm shift. You'll have a lot of those over the next 6 months. Probably had some already in the last 3 days.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Mike Morrison. My wife really straight out of college. I mean, I only stayed in college for about a year and was in it for political science and law. And decided I didn't want to be crooked, didn't want to be a lawyer. So I ended up joining the Coast Guard. When I went into the Coast Guard, I actually started contracting for them afterwards. And contracting for the Coast Guard, you can make upwards of $200,000 a year. So I spoiled myself at a very early age. And basically all I'm doing is keeping up with myself. I have no wife, I have no kids. You know, none of my family's anywhere around here, so I just like to have fun and I like nice things. That's what I want.
You know, one thing about Mike, when I first met Mike, when I was consulting with this dealership, you know, he always was smiling. He always was quick to help somebody, you know? And that's a trait that's not common in a lot of people, especially when you see somebody coming in and you really don't know them, okay? Because everybody is a representative when you first meet them. They're showing you their perfect self, okay? Until you go through something with somebody, that's who you know they really are. But he's never changed, you know, never changed. Sometimes he needs a boost, which everybody does, you know, but he's got that trait of just a kind-hearted person, all right? And I do big him up for that.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My wife obviously personal and motivated by self. I am a person who automatically is a workaholic. You don't have to drive me to come to work. You don't have to say, Renee, do the right thing, because I personally think you ought to.
Correct.
However, though, I'm a person of